Hello and welcome once again to Testimony Tuesday. You've heard me do this so many times. I bet you're repeating after me. Be sure to like this and be sure to share this. But we appreciate you following and again, just thank you for that. Probably a number of you recognize the young lady that's sitting to my right here. And Tammy Nicholl and Tammy and Bill, you all been a part of the church for a number of years.
A long time.
In fact, you was on the search committee when I came back this second time. Yeah. But Tammy and Bill, we appreciate them and their family. And so Tammy's come today, going to share a testimony about just what Christ is doing in her life and what God's doing with her and how that her relationship with Christ, how her faith has affected your vocation and your community and your involvement. And I want to say on behalf of Logan County and Champaign County, thank you, Tammy, for you serving our community as you do. You all don't realize, but I will confess something to you. It is pretty frequently that I come up against something that I have to reach out to the professional community and or I'll have somebody contact me and they'll need an answer and I don't have it. And I will say, now I know a sister in the church here that's got her hand on the pulse of our community, and we'll reach out to her. So Tammy, you know how much I call you and lean on you and
same other way.
Yeah, but these folks don't, but I do. I appreciate so much you being that available resource, and we're very blessed. We really are. We're blessed. I'm blessed as a pastor to have people in the professional community yet love Jesus that I can just reach out to. Yourself, Angela Parson, and there's just many others, some of our educators and so on. So hey, Tammy, share with us about your journey of faith and tell, if you could, can you put in there some way what you did for your family and that I got to be a part of? Man, that was powerful.
That was awesome.
And it was just, it was good. So tell us what the Lord is doing in your life.
Yeah. So I just, to start with my journey with the Lord, at a very young age, my family, my parents, were not always Christians, and my mom my mom was 16 when I was born. That give you any idea of kind of where she was in life. My dad was 6 years older than my mom, and they struggled, got by with jobs and finances, but it was a struggle. And my dad, in my early life, liked alcohol a lot. And so my growing up years were good, but also scary sometimes. And I remember my mom being worried a lot about where he was and what he was doing and those kind of things. When I was probably in middle school, he made a decision just to cold turkey stop. And the rest of the time, he was not drinking. I lost my dad at the age of 49. So he died after 3 heart attacks. And then my mom lived alone for about 19 years. And in 2009, my mom passed away with ovarian cancer. That was a hard time. But even though my mom attended church and we went to Goshen Friends Church, that's where I grew up and have a lot of memories and things in youth group and growing up and worship there with all of my siblings and my mom. I went to church and listened and was a part of things, but didn't really make a personal decision till Camp Caesar between my 7th and 8th grade year in school. There was a camp in Virginia that I went to with other kids in the youth group and made a personal decision to give the Lord my heart and in my devotion from there. And I wouldn't say it's been a solid, straightforward, ever-growing relationship. There's been some ups and downs. And certainly one of the tough times in my life was losing both of my parents, feeling like at the age of 45 that I was an orphan. And still needing and wanting in so many ways to have your mom and dad to talk to and to share life with. But God was faithful through all of that, and I was blessed that my siblings were with me. We did those things together, and certainly appreciated many awesome memories with my mom, who had really grown in the Lord and was faithful even through the struggle with cancer and the pain of knowing what was coming. So have that to look back at and to appreciate and feel grounded in. I think for me, the next hurdle was getting married and being ready to start a family, and feeling like I did a lot of babysitting growing up. I always figured, I had my life all planned out. I'm going to get married, have children, have a job. God's plan was not exactly like that. And so Bill and I were married for 10 years and struggled with infertility for at least 8 of those years that we were really trying. And that was hard. I was working at Children's Services through part of that, and working with kids who were abused and neglected, and felt I got to admit, a lot of days resentful.
Wow.
For the fact that God would put me in a place where I would see and work with families who had children, seemed to easily have children, but weren't able or didn't want to take care of them and protect them. So we became foster parents after I left my job at Children's Services, realizing how many kids out there were that really could use a home. We'd built a house that was big enough for kids and us. So we started fostering, and I think over the course of time, we had about 7 kids in our home in foster care, different ages. And then one day, we got a call that there was this baby born in Springfield, Ohio, that mom had been using drugs during the pregnancy, and they wanted to know if we would consider taking this baby from the hospital. They weren't sure what kind of side effects there might be. So scared as we were, the answer was yes. And I had a little guy that was 7 years old with me at the time. And so we went to the hospital to get this little baby, and Bill stayed back, and his family and my family got together, and I came home. I mean, literally, we did not have a baby in our house. We had a 7-year-old, but when I came home, I had a nursery stocked and ready while I went to the hospital, and he was awesome. And he was with us for 10 months when the agency decided to go ahead and go for permanent custody, and we were able to adopt him. So Noah is my oldest one, and he became a permanent part of our family, and what a blessing. I'll just go on and share that, it was about 3.5 years later that, while we had not decided we wanted to continue to even foster, we were going to wait till Noah was a little older and could help make the decision that he wanted to share his home and his family with other kids. So we kind of took a break from all of that. And I got a call from Noah's aunt saying that mom was expecting again, and would we consider taking the baby so they would be together. And we were like, of course, of course, this would be a part of Noah's family he would need to reach out for and search for. So got to do this, have this experience again, only this time got to be there with the birth mom and spent that day with her. We got to give Nathan his first bottle. Believe it or not, the blessing all over this was that it was Mother's Day.
Wow.
It was Mother's Day weekend, and I spent a lot of time sitting in a chair in the hospital room crying, just feeling overwhelmed that God had more than blessed us with children. So Noah and Nathan are our boys, and what an answer to prayer, what a blessing that was. But the struggle up until then was hard, and my resentment at times and feeling of frustration about why not, when we seem like capable, loving,
hard-working
folks.
Yes. Yes. Some of the hardest workers are the Nicholls and Tammy, huh? Yes.
So God had a plan that I would have never dreamed. And, had we had our own children, I know chances are we wouldn't have considered adoption. And I'm so glad we did. I am so glad we did. The boys are ornery rotten. But love them to pieces, and it's been great to watch them grow.
And you have 3 grandchildren, Noah and his wife have 3?
Yes.
3, yeah.
3 wonderful grandchildren.
Yeah. And boy, and she loves them. Remington is the one I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that is great. Hey, Tammy, so you talk about what you did, if you would, with your family here. What was that, 6 months ago or something? May? It was in May, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
May 7th.
Yeah.
May 7th.
Just talk about that a little bit.
So again, just having a heart for family and wanting everyone to be have a close relationship with the Lord, and just for us to not grow apart. And I think, in a lot of families, it's the grandparents who are the central part of every family get together and holidays and all of that. And we started out really good after Mom and Dad were both gone, of all of us getting together, but everybody got busy and our kids are active and in sports and all kinds of things. So we do less and less of that. My sister lives in Indiana and isn't here anymore. So I just really felt the Lord saying, you need to do something special to get everybody back together and just spend some time sharing and having fun, but also talking about Jesus and the importance of that for my siblings and for the next generation. So I planned this day, had talked with Pastor Brown about being a part of that and being able to use the space here at the church to do it. When we all get together, there was going to be 20 some of us. Not everybody ended up being able to come, but it was a wonderful day. So I planned with, had Shannon Meyer come and share her story, and she helped me with the food and all those kind of things. Had Jeff Stillings come and share his story, and also had Roy Hall come and share his story. My family's big OSU fans, so I knew that they would appreciate getting to see Roy Hall. Yeah,
well, of course, Roy Hall, some of you may not know, played for Ohio State.
Yes.
And of course, he normally speaks to crowds of hundreds, and God worked it out some way or another for him to come and speak to your family. Well, of course, there's 25 or 30 of us, probably total there. And this guy's got muscles in his arms. Am I exaggerating or what, Tammy? Oh my goodness. I mean, I sat and listened because I was afraid not to. But he was a powerful speaker. Yes. He really was. Yes. He was a powerful speaker. Yeah. But and you know what? That's an idea that first of all, fostering and adopting, and so that's an idea. And if the Holy Spirit puts that in you and on you, you pray about that, and Tammy can give you information. There's a lot of people can give you information on that. Another idea is getting your family together. And I mean, you put it together, you all did. I mean, it was great. It was really a great setting, and I was privileged to be a part of it. Privileged to talk about Bertha's blanket.
Right.
Yeah, and share a little bit about that. So maybe that's something you'd like to do. You think the Lord is saying to you, well, hey, holler at Tammy, reach out to Tammy. And if you don't, we can hook you up with her, call the church here, and we can hook you up with her. And Tammy, I know we're wrapping down here, but how you have used your faith, your walk with Christ in mental health in Logan and in Champaign County. And I've already alluded to the fact of how helpful that you have been. And boy, you have had your hand on the pulse of the epidemic of addiction. And just real quick, I know you all are wore out. I know all, the first responders, people in mental health, people it's just ongoing. And do you feel like some progress is being made?
I think progress is being made in that people are more open. I think the subject is not so taboo. I think there's still some stigma to overcome, but it's easier to ask for help today than it was 5-6 years ago. And I think the fact that so many people are touched by someone with a mental illness or an addiction, that we get it. We get it.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thank you. And thank you for sharing. Yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And because I know there's a lot of our moms and dads who struggle with infertility, and they choose adoption, and their stories is often like yours, and just how God is blessed. So, hey, again, thank you.
Welcome.
And hey, be sure to share this. Tammy touched on some things that's just very vital and pertinent for families, and so be sure to share it. The more people that share this, the greater you increase and you enhance the chance of getting the message out. So I hope that you just share this. Hey, God bless you. You have a great day.